Hello, editing me here. So I wasn't going to upload this video just because about halfway through I stopped filming everything. So there's like a big jump towards the end where like I go from, oh, here's the progress that I've made so far to, yeah, it's finished. But I had a couple of people ask me, I had one person ask me how I did it. And my response was with great difficulty. So I figured I would actually try and edit this video to give more of an answer. I mostly still remember everything that I did, so I'm gonna try and talk through what I did. So here is the video showing my process, and yeah, that's all from me. Have fun, enjoy. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. But yeah, that's all from me for now. Ta-da. Hello, my name is Type the Writer and welcome back to my channel, or this is your first video here, then I guess welcome to my channel. In today's video, as you can see from the title, I'm going to attempt to style a wig. Well, I don't know what I'm titling this, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to attempt to style a wig. For some context, me and my friend are going to Comic-Con in May, and we are going as Phoenix and Edgeworth from Ace Attorney. I will be Edgeworth because I think he's great and he has my colour palette, so therefore. And they're going as Phoenix. They've managed to get away with making Phoenix's beanie, so they don't have to do the hair. However, I don't have something that I can do so that I don't have to do the hair, so I'm gonna have to try and do the hair. I've never styled a wig before and I have no idea what I'm doing, so I figured now would be a perfect time to bring you along. Maybe we can both learn a thing, or maybe this will go horribly wrong, I'm not quite sure. So yeah, so first things first, this is the wig. I got quite a long one. Obviously Edgeworth's hair is not this long, however the front's too short, so I've just got length where I don't need length and shortness where I need length. That's a word. I've already attempted to do some styling on this. I haven't touched the back yet because I realise that I'm gonna need a second wig to pad out the front bit. So the back is untouched currently, apart from I've brushed it a couple of times. I'm going to use a second wig to pad out the front so that I don't have to touch anything from here, because I think I'm going to need the length in here to cut down, if that makes sense, because this bit's all going to be very short. But yeah, this is just a very cheap wig from Amazon. Oh, and if you wanted to know how this is currently standing, this is my tripod that I use for filming, and it comes with this. This is how you like direct it around. Put it on backwards so I can then get it to stand up straight. And then I've shoved it in this very cheap thing that I bought from Amazon. And that's how it's propped up right now. Here's what I've done so far. So this is the front of the wig. I've pulled off the first 2 layers, so I've got more room to work with. And I put this in here so that I can then stick it onto there, because it's not going to stick very well on there. I think this is really a bit too big for what I want. It's also not very straight, but that, look, I don't, that's not my fault. But yeah, and then I was just practicing here with trying to get the height. I think this is maybe a bit tall. Like it's very tall. I think when I do it properly, I might want it more like there, because currently that's bending there. And that's not like a lot of difference, but I just think that like his hair is quite tall, but I'm not sure it's quite this tall. So you can see this is way too short. His hair, when you look at it, comes down to like here, which is really long. when you think about how much it has to go up and then back down, that's probably going to be this length. But yeah, I don't know that I'm going to bring it all the way down where his is. I think I'm probably going to stop it about there, just because otherwise it's going to piss me off. I'll get the basic structure in with the slightly shorter bits because it might hold up better, and then I'll use the longer bits to do the sweep. That's my logic. So I'm now currently making the front. Basically I'm just adding in length to the front, so this is going to help it go up and over. As you can see, I'm having so much fun right now, sticking it to my lovely cutting mat. This one is the second one that I did. It's a little bit better. This one's a bit shit because I was still trying to work it out. Also, I had a tangle right there and it's kind of gone all the way down, which is really annoying. And then here is my first attempt. I think it's too thick. I kind of rolled it all up to try and keep it all together, but actually it ended up way too thick and not what I wanted. Also, it's naturally curly, which wasn't helpful. I then took, I think it was this bit, cut it in half, So it's like that. And then I folded it over for these bits, but it just to give it a little bit more bulk. And then I straightened it. So I've got my straighteners here. I've actually only used these on my own hair once because I had a second pair which has now died unfortunately, but I preferred it. It was a slightly nicer pair. This is my cheap pair. And yes, I'm just straightening it to get rid of those curls. It does make it very staticky, which is the one downside, but it makes it far more manageable than the curls because it doesn't really know what to do with itself when it's curly. So hello, editing me again. I realised as I was editing this that I did not explain this part very well at all. As I just said, I had these little I think the technical term is weft, which yeah, I straightened and then I glued. I have managed to lose my bottle of glue, but I used this stuff, which is just kind of like clear glue, and basically what I would do is I would straighten all the stuff, you know, straighten the weft, and then place it onto the cutting mat and squeeze a little bit of this glue. I usually went like across, and then using an old bank card, because that was the best thing that I had to hand, I would then smooth that out while pulling backwards slightly to make that tip a bit sharper. And yeah, then you kind of pick it up and flip it over and do the same thing again. And you just kind of like, you know, smush it, use the bank card to kind of shape it a bit more. And then I didn't do it on those first two that you saw, but I then propped them up on, I actually don't know where it's gone, but I have like a crayon kit which is like the exact right size to keep the tip from touching anything. It's one thing that I realised after those first two is that leaving them on the board to dry meant that when I pulled it off it had sticky bits of glue around the edge, so I made sure from then on to make sure they dried in the air so that wouldn't happen. But yeah, so that was that process. Hello, I'm realising that I haven't updated in a little while and I've made some more progress. So very quickly, this is the wig currently. It's all kind of held back at the moment because I haven't attempted to cut this bit yet because I'm mildly terrified of doing so, to be perfectly honest with you. So I've done the front and stuck it on. This is going to be cut way down, but I found that doing it into a point helped it to kind of keep its shape a bit better. I'm trying to be careful with it because I'm not sure how hardy it's gonna be. It feels pretty sturdy, but I don't want to risk it, you know. The inside looks like this currently. I think I want to cut all of that down to at least there, possibly slightly further, so I might need to cut some of this down as well. We'll see how that goes. So all of this stuff is the stuff that I added, and then this is the actual length of the hair at that point. It's quite short, and because this is all in front, it's not, it's just quite obvious that this is short. So what I'm currently doing is I'm adding in a couple, just literally this is all I'm adding in. I don't know if I'll need any more. I'm hoping not because this is taking forever. Just a little bit that's longer right there so that it's then over the top to kind of seal that bit inside. But yeah, so I've done the first side already. That actually went in very nicely. You can't really see it now, but it's there. Yeah, so I've just pulled a couple bits out of the other wig again, and then I folded them in half because so they've still got the, I don't even know what that's called, but that bit, they've still got that bit in it. So I've just folded that in half and then sewed that together, and then I'm now going to sew this bit into the wig. I have no idea how this looks on. I haven't tried it on because I've done my hair today and I don't want to mess my hair up with the wig, so we're not going to try it on today. It's looking pretty good so far. Well, okay, it's looking bad. It's looking bad so far, let's be honest here. This is not what is going on here. This is a thing for sure. It's a work in progress, we'll get there. It's a big trust the process kind of moment because currently it's looking like nothing. The other wig is looking quite scrappy now. Scrappy? That's not a word. Quite scrappy now. So yeah, for context, how much I've had to pull out of this wig, that is the middle. So there is, there we go, yeah. There's the front there. And there's the back. And actually it doesn't look too bad. But yeah, you can see there's a noticeable gap there. And it keeps ending up on the floor, so that's why it's so tangled. So I will update you when I get a bit further. Hello and welcome back. here is the progress so far. I've cut a little bit off this. Really, I want it to be about there. I'm very nervous about cutting too much because of how it's attached. And then I've just kind of spent, it's very messy right now, but I've just spent some time kind of working these extra bits in so that it kind of helps hold the shape a bit more. Here's where we are so far. It's really not looking much like Edgeworth yet. And I'm really trying to tell myself to trust the process, but like, the process is, I don't know what I'm doing, so it's very hard to. If I knew the process, it would be one thing, but I'm making this up as I go along. So now I think I need to probably start cutting these bits down, just because if I do the front bits, then I won't be able to get in, because I won't want to move them. I'm very nervous, because I don't know how short to cut it. Most of Edgeworth's hair is kind of slicked back, so I kind of want to keep it a bit longer, just so it can be kind of slicked back. So I want to keep these bits at the front a little bit longer, because I need them to cover my hair. I'm thinking kind of more, not quite that long, but like, yeah, kind of short bits coming down there. He doesn't have that, but I do, so we're gonna work with what we got. And then these bits kind of just sweep back, though I do need some bits to kind of go forwards and just help cover up that, because otherwise there's a hole in the middle of his head. But yeah, we're gonna give it a go, and I'm gonna cry if this goes horribly wrong. And then I need to come back to this front bit. So I've been trimming up the back. It doesn't, this side looks, they don't quite match up. I'm not entirely sure why, like what I've done wrong here. It looks alright, I think. It's not noticeable, but I think maybe I have not as many layers on this side. Maybe I can just trim off that top, that there maybe. But actually, I don't think it looks bad. I was so nervous about this because like I'm not very good at cutting hair to begin with, and it's short, so like my mistakes are going to be on display. And I have made some mistakes. Like I have frazzled the shit out of this hair because my hair straightener does not have multiple settings, it is just hot. So this bit here, I don't think I can straighten that anymore. I think it might be dead. But you know what? For my first ever attempt at cutting hair and styling wigs, it could be worse. It could be worse. I was trying to kind of bring it down into a point because I think that would be easiest to deal with. I think definitely I should have left this longer because I'm now very nervous about, like, it's very, very close to the, because it's there that the edge is, so it could, I would have more to play with I think if I'd left it a little bit longer. This is going to be, you know, the back. We've got some more to come down yet. I'm trying to kind of layer it so it's got some more volume to it, I think. And then as we're getting onto these side bits here, I kind of want to leave these a bit longer so I can kind of slick them back and like around and then kind of pull it all in. But yeah, so wish me luck. Okay, an update. I feel like I'm starting to kind of see the vision. I've started leaving kind of this bit here a tiny bit longer so that I can sweep it in. Obviously there's still quite a bit more to go. And yeah, I am going to basically swoop all of this in and hairspray the shit out of it. And then this bit on the side, and I've just left this side for now, just kind of like really long, because this is meant to cover like my sideburns, and I don't know yet how, like, because I cut that on my head so I could see exactly how long it needed to be, so I'm kind of going to do the same thing again here, but I'm kind of just trying to get through all of this so that then I can put it on and see where it's going. But yeah, I don't know, I feel like it's obviously not perfect. Like there's a gap here which is just kind of awkward, which I cut way too short, but hey, this side looks alright. It's just that bit there which we're just ignoring it, okay? My floor is looking like a disaster zone right now, and I have no idea how I'm going to hoover this up because I'm an idiot, and that carpet, that little rug thing, I can't hoover it, so we may be having great fun with sellotape later. Hello and welcome back. I realise the last video I did was like ages ago, so there's been a lot of progress that I just have not filmed. But yeah, I've basically finished the wig now. This is it. It's got this clip in it right here just to try and help these bits stay together, because otherwise they kind of splay out and go kind of wide, which I don't want. But yeah, so this clip is just holding them together just while I'm like transporting it around and stuff, and then I'll take that out obviously for the day. And yeah, these pins are just once again also helping it just kind of stay up a bit, just taking the weight off of it, because I'm just trying to really elongate the defying gravity of this bit at the front here. I was just watching one of my other videos. It's ended up basically the same. Like, I kind of shushed up this front bit a little bit to try and make it look a bit more natural, so it's not just straight across. I don't know exactly how well that effect works, to be honest with you, but we're gonna go with what we've got. The back is not the best, to be honest with you. Like, there's a bit right here which is a bit too long that I might cut down and stuff. But that's what we're working with. I'm honestly so done with this at this point. I've been working on it for like 2 months straight. So, I mean, not straight. I did not work on this straight. But I mean, I'd say it's manageable. This bit here, I only realised today that there's a gap here, and I've now basically glued all this, like, I put so much hairspray in it that this hair is not moving back up there. So I might just kind of hairspray that down and just have it kind of wiggle a little bit just to kind of fill up that gap, but we're just gonna have to go with what it looks like now. This side's not too bad, but yeah, I don't quite know how I missed that. I was literally spinning it around the entire time, but I just completely missed it. But I'd still say it looks alright, so we're just gonna roll with it. And yeah, so these bits at the side, this is just the last kind of bit that I'm kind of doing. These are to cover my kind of sideburns, and then this bit's staying down to cover the wig bit, and like I said, I've got bright red hair, so I'm trying to cover up that as best as I can. It's about the same on both sides. It's not quite the same, like this is a bit narrower, but there's how it looks. If you go too close, it looks kind of terrible. There is so much hairspray in this, and I got very bored, so all of these bits that are sticking up, I just went and I cut them all. That's why they're still a bit shit, so don't do that. But, you know, from afar, it looks pretty good. I hope you enjoyed this very uninformative video. Yeah, I did not film it very well, I'm apologising now. But, ta-da! Hello, editing me back once again, and this time I have the wig. So this is the wig. Obviously this is post Comic-Con. I think it held up pretty well, personally, but I did do a couple extra little bits that I did not mention in the last video, so I'm just going to mention those very quickly. In order to get the hair to, again, it's kind of falling apart a little bit now, but in order to get the hair to kind of look like this, I actually went through and the really short bits, which I can't actually find now, but the really short bits that I was talking about right kind of near the start of the video, the way that they went up was by back combing them, essentially. I did it with a teasing brush, so I guess I teased them. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to do that with the longer bits because there's a lot of glue in there. I mean, you can't really see it, but there's glue like from there up until about there. So the entire length of it was teased, and that helped it stay together a lot more as well, but it also made it so that I could kind of manipulate its shape a bit more. Again, this is post Comic-Con, so like it's separated back out and stuff like that, but for the actual day it stayed together very well. But you can kind of see that it's still kind of holding together. Like if I pull that bit, the whole thing comes with, even though it looks like it's separated. I ended up just going in and cutting the really short bit so that the short bit ends here. You can kind of see. For the day, again, it was hidden, it worked. Now afterwards, it's been in, you know, through the walls, so it's kind of a bit more obvious. The night before, I tried it on just to make sure that it was okay, because after travelling with it, it wasn't holding up as well as I'd like. And so I just went back and basically hairsprayed the shit out of it, because this bit at the back, it's kind of doing it again now, but like this bit on the side was falling down to about there, so it's not quite as bad, but it was falling quite far down, and I didn't like that because it kind of doesn't look so good if it does that. So what I did was I had basically all the pins that are currently in this thing I had with me. So what I did was I went through the back and hairsprayed almost each individual layer and then pinned it into place. So then I just hairsprayed the shit out of it. I don't think I've mentioned it up until this point, but this is the hairspray that I was using. It's not the stuff that I use in my own hair. It's almost glue. It's basically just sprayable glue. Yeah, I used about half a can on this thing, and I bought it specially for it, so I used quite a lot. Yeah, and again, so I just went back over and hairsprayed this to really make sure they would stay in place, and then I just basically propped these up where I wanted them to be, and then pinned them, and then hairsprayed everything. I hairsprayed underneath the bits that I wanted to like give it something to adhere to, and then hairsprayed over the top of it as well to just make it solid. So I bought some spirit gum because I wasn't sure if I'd want to like glue a couple of bits to my face just so that they would not get in the way. So on the day, these sideburn bits here, I just glued them to my face. They weren't quite staying the way that I wanted them to, so I just literally got some spirit gum and went down just under my own and just stuck them onto there. And actually, I think that turned out quite well. It covered it almost completely and it looked pretty good. And then I did actually go through and also glue these bits to my face, which I did not enjoy, can I just say. The sideburns are kind of fine because they're right on the edge of my face, but these ended up kind of like there where I could feel them, which was not pleasant. But it was the easiest way to just make sure that they weren't going to fall about. And they ended up unsticking by the end of the day anyway. I mean, overall, I think it looked pretty good. Getting the glue off was exciting, and we did end up going back impulsively for a day 2. Weren't meant to, we're only going for the one day, and then we bought last minute tickets and went to day 2. So I did end up travelling in this on the way back, which was an exciting time, let's put it that way. I will be redoing it just because this bit here isn't, I'm not super happy with this, because it's just a little bit too thick because of how I ended up doing it. It's also falling apart. I would like to redo this wig and get rid of that bit, hopefully. But on the day, it looked pretty good, and we got recognised loads, and that was great. Overall, great time. So I hope that was a bit more informative, hopefully. You can see how kind of it came together. I will try and put some links in the description to videos that I watched about this because they were quite helpful in working out how to do this. A lot of it was just trial and error and hoping for the best, and I think it turned out pretty decent. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please, if you would like to stick around, please feel free to. And I will maybe make another video at some point. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But until then, I'll see you next time. Bye! This is the morning routine that you don't say.
This is how Edgeworth gets dressed every day, guys. I have beaten you at your own game!